Welcome back, everyone. I am Bella Hunter, and I am here with Hal Hunter and Cody Hill.
Hello, my name is Hal Hunter. I've already dropped the ball.
Already.
Yes, my name's Hal Hunter. Bella and I are co-owners of Carlisle Tattoo Co. We are also husband and wife tattoo duo, and we are here with long-time client, friend, co-worker, Cody Hill.
And he's not 5 hours late today. Well done.
Yeah, I had to get that sorted pretty quick, didn't I? If I wanted to keep getting tattooed. I'm Cody Hill, 27, from Emerald out in the southeast, up in the hills with the hillbillies. I've been tattooing 2 years now at Carlisle since the start of
It's
the year.
really been 2 years.
Yeah,
I thought it was longer.
2 years this month.
Wow.
Oh, mate, that's exciting.
I'll have to bake another cake.
Yeah, apprentice at Vintique for 2 years before that. And yeah, spent 8 years of my life as a Boilermaker before that.
Yeah, that's true.
mate, on the
I forget
tools.
about that part of your
On the
life.
tools.
I used to be on the tools.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
3 days.
You did not, you
I did.
liar.
Me and Ricky Mullins, 3 days. Well, he does it as a full-time job, but I did 3 days as the
Yeah, you
apprenticeship.
trialed something
I don't know if it was a trial.
and gave up.
It was a bit embarrassing after
Yeah.
the third day when I said, mate, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah, good. Anyway, I reckon let's go for a bit of a weekly recap. So we'll go for what did you tattoo? How did they go?
Well, I'll kick it off. So the week's not over yet. Still got to work today, tomorrow and Sunday. So
I
it's
don't
like
think I'm working Sunday.
midweek recap for me. I feel like it's been a pretty good week for me work-wise. Some might sound a bit weird, but like some weeks I think you're feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're having a good one or a
Yeah.
bit of a shit one.
And I often find the weeks where I start off with like a full day session on the Tuesday, which is our first day, are the weeks that I really feel like I get in the swing of things. So yeah, had a full day session, doing essentially like a half sleeve, all traditional black and grey stuff on Tuesday. Wednesday, Bella and I down at Vintique Tattoos in Mordialloc. So that was a good one. Yesterday had a relaxing day because we had something on in the afternoon. So yeah, it's been a pretty good week for me. And then we trained Muay Thai on Thursday as well, me and Cody. But we don't train together, but we do the same thing.
They're not allowed to train together because they both have to get in the zone and make sure they're like taking it seriously. So they want to have like some separate time.
I don't know. I train with Charles every week and I feel like it's never that serious.
What's the real reason we don't train together?
You do it too late. And I
Yeah.
don't want to have a cold shower with you.
Hal goes in. So I have to get up early as we live like an hour and a half away from work. I have to get up just so he can go train. So I sit at work in an empty shop for like 2 hours before everyone gets in. I have to go and get him his Powerade, a little brekkie snack, and then he rolls into work like 10 minutes before his appointment and is like, oh, hey guys, what's up? I feel like a little slave. It's great fun.
Would you rather me...
Be fat and ugly, yes.
I wasn't going to say that, but
take
anyway.
it.
How was your week, Cody?
Yeah, no, it was good. I started off the week with a day rate on my old housemate Taylor.
Ah, yes.
She's always good.
She's great.
Yeah, she's good. Dragging on the forearm, whipped out the elbow, snake up the back of the arm.
She comes in heaps, hey?
Yeah, she's moving to Queensland in
Yeah,
like
gotta-
3 weeks, so she's got to
gotta
pump
jam
them
them
out.
in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's always a good start to the week. Wednesday, I had some like walk-in type stuff, just a random message off Instagram. I don't mind doing that though. And then yesterday, I had Davo in,
We love
my
Davo.
all-time customer.
Shout out. I hope he's listening. Do you reckon
I
he'll
don't-
listen?
If he knows what a podcast is.
We might have
You're
to.
going to have to send it to
We're
him.
going to have to
I will.
text him the link or sit down with
Definitely.
him and be like, listen to this and sit in the corner.
Absolutely.
I'd potentially say Davo's your most supportive customer.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
He brought me a Christmas card with $1,000 in it yesterday.
You are kidding.
Nah.
Is that what all that cash was? And then I
Yeah.
kept being like, Cody, why do you have all this cash sitting there?
He is the best bloke.
Fucking
He
hell.
actually is. He really is.
How old is he?
I said to Rachel, he's bought his seat at the wedding now.
Yeah, I reckon.
He's 53.
Mate, he's
he's the
MC.
same age as my mum.
Really?
Yeah.
I just love that he like remembers everyone's names and stuff when he comes in.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He has the best time every time he comes in.
He makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he cries of laughter every time he comes in.
He thinks we're really funny. It's a bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah. It makes his week every week.
No, that's sick.
Great guy. Yeah. And then
Your week, Bella.
my week, far out. I'm quite bad at the moment. I can't even remember what I did yesterday.
I did tell you in the car to
Yeah,
make
look,
sure
you
you
did.
remember what you did.
I've gone through my photos and I've got it. I outlined a battle royale on Tuesday. That was
on
sick.
that girl.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was real fun. I'm very excited to get that finished, even though we've only just done the outline. But we're going for all black, so that'll be fun because I've done a colour one previously.
Yep.
Then what did I do? Then I just did some like palm-sized stuff at Morty, which was fun. Had some other people come back and just get another like little butterfly, which I've tattooed before. It's always nice to see people again. Like, especially when you've only like met them once and then they come back like 6 months later. It feels good.
Well, that was how we talked about that last week, about how you build the customer base.
Yeah.
And you get returning clientele and stuff.
Yeah, so that's real nice. And then I tattooed some webs on Regular's hips.
Oh, that's right. And he's the one you did the original Battle Royale on.
So got to see 2 of my Battle Royales this week. And then
For anyone who doesn't know what a Battle Royale is, it's an eagle, snake, and dragon all fighting in the one tattoo.
yeah. And then just done some like smaller ones.
And Cody's got a Battle Royale on his chest.
Yep.
Has he got all 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. That's right. And
Who did it?
I did
You
it.
did it.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember I wanted to get it on my thigh. And
Did ya?
Yeah, I wanted to get it on my thigh, but I really wanted to do my chest, and I couldn't think of anything good to do on my chest. And then I remember I was like, fuck that, I'll just do it on my chest.
I like that.
Because you'd drawn it real long, so I came in and you like traced my chest and you made it wide instead of long.
That's right. And I think that's actually on the cover of my original line drawing book.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And from memory, you really enjoyed getting it done.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking horrible. I remember I couldn't like lift my arms above my shoulders at work the next day because we did it on like a Friday night and I was working Saturday morning. And my boss at the time was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I lifted up my shirt and he's like, I don't have tattoos, but that looks fucked.
Did you do it all in one go?
Yeah, it was like 5 hours. It was
yuck.
fucking horrible.
I think we got to a certain point. It was like after we finished the black shading. And I was like, fuck, we may as well just finish it now.
Nah. I walked in and you were like, are we finishing this today? And I was like, yeah, one shot in it. And then I remember you finished the black and I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. And you're like, bro, don't be a fucking pussy. You said you're one shot in it, we're doing it. And I was like, if there's one thing that will make me do something, it's call me a pussy.
Yeah. All you have to do is just like lower your self-esteem just a tiny bit. And
Absolutely.
You are absolutely killing it. I like that.
I love that. Well, on that, I had someone ask me the other week. Well, this was like, I reckon 90% of the questions I got were about tattoo apprenticeships, which we'll gloss over a little bit today, I reckon.
Gloss?
But I reckon we'll talk about that in more detail, you know, like...
In another episode.
Yeah, in another episode, but how you get an apprenticeship, or at least, you know, our advice on that sort of stuff.
This is just like you got to stay tuned, guys. Don't stop listening because otherwise you'll never know.
But one of the more common questions was like, I think people are just interested in hearing like rattled tattoo stories.
Oh, fuck.
Or like hard experiences and stuff. And I mean, I think if you just like the longer you tattoo, obviously the more of them you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I remember there was one when I was working at Vintique. I reckon this would be like 2016, 2017. If anyone's been to Vintique recently, it's all sort of like
If anyone's hearing slurping, Cody's got his what do you drink? What is it?
Ice on black.
Yeah.
I thought that had lychees in it.
It's big ice
if
cubes. So if there's slurping, that's Cody.
So the Vintique currently is sort of like, we've done a reno on it and it's all sort of one room. It's like a big L shape. But it used to be all separate rooms. So there was the front room, which had obviously the reception. Scott and Bobby worked in there. And then I was in the back room. And I worked in there with like a few other people over the years, but sometimes it was just me in there. And it was like, it's a pretty decent sized room.
Yes, but it used to be pretty like dark and...
Yeah, it had like red, like maroon coloured
It
walls.
used to be so dark in there with the maroon walls.
Yeah.
It was a bit like eerie.
And like fuck all paintings on the wall and stuff. And I remember I did this, I had this, I can't remember if it was a booking or a walk-in, but it was this older dude. He would have been like in his 50s, and he was getting first tattoo. He was getting Roman numerals on his ribs, but it was only VII. So like not very long, but he wanted it massive.
What, one number?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
But they were like, I would say like a good solid 15 centimeters high.
Wait, is that one number or is that like...
I don't know.
VII.
I don't know Roman
It's
numerals.
7.
No. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know Roman numerals at all.
V's 5
Yeah, okay, and then
and
1-1.
7.
so
I
confusing.
believe.
I
I
just
could
know
be.
the Grand Theft Autos.
I just make them tell me what I'm doing.
I could be
And hope
wrong,
for the
but
best.
I
I go on
believe
Roman
V's 5.
numeral like calculator thing.
Yeah, so he wanted VII, but because it's such a short thing, but he wanted it quite large, I blew it up massive. So the letters were they're fucking huge.
So your stencil was thick as fuck.
No, it was thin as, and I was doing it, so I aligned it with like a 5, but real thin. I don't know why, but they were huge, and they're obviously on the ribs. Then they stretch their arm up, and you stretch it out, and they probably go to like nearly double the length.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
like, your one line would be like an A5 sheet of paper if you're stretching
it was
that out. And
fun.
that
So
was
wild.
massive.
You think a tat is huge, and then
Yeah.
they drop their arm, and you're like, that is like not even as big as my hand.
Anyway, I'm like, all right, man, like it's gonna hurt. Obviously, it's on your ribs. Like first tattoo, always hard to, gauge what you think it's gonna feel like and stuff like that. And I don't know if his wife or his girlfriend, but like his partner was there, and she had one tattoo that was on her wrist, and it was tiny as. And she was like, "Don't worry, like I got one. It didn't hurt at all. Like you'll be fine." And I was like, "All right." And I said to him, I was like, "All right, like hopefully it doesn't hurt." I do the first line, and seriously, I thought this cunt was having a seizure. Like
God.
it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, like this is."
I feel sick thinking about that situation.
It's burned into my mind. And I was like, I don't know if this is just a bit of shock at the start or whatever, but I was trying to do these lines, and they're thin as, long as, he's moving like heaps, and he was like groaning and stuff, which
It's so awkward.
I always think it's like, you can lie
Gotta
there in
let it
dead
out.
silence.
No, you don't. You have to just shut the hell up because it's so awkward.
Yeah, it's full on.
But anyway, it got to the point where I ended up having to go out into the staff room where Dave and Scott were sitting. They were playing PlayStation, and I was crying, like almost crying, because I was saying to Scott, and Scott's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna absolutely fuck this tattoo up. Like, and I don't know what to do. I keep saying like, oh man, you got to sit still." And he's like, yeah. And then I'll touch that skin, and like he was like, it was violent movements, like the shaking he was doing and stuff. And the worst bit was his girlfriend, his partner, kept saying like, "Oh, I didn't think it hurt at all." And I was seriously just like, I just wanted to say like, he obviously fucking does. So
It's like you got this pissy tattoo on your wrist that probably took 10 minutes.
I was like, mate, this guy's like being born again right now. Like he's living, he's dying.
Soul's leaving his body.
Yeah. And I went out the back, and I was like, I seriously was tearing up. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't. I'm not going to like just commit to it and fuck this tattoo up. And Scott just came out and said to the guys that, mate, if you don't sit still, you got to get the fuck out. And
I
it was
love
like,
You
Scott.
gotta love him.
it was like the guy, he didn't sit still after that, but he
He was a bit rattled
his
and
shit
like,
together.
tried
Yeah.
to like, he stopped talking and stopped like trying to say to because his girlfriend kept going like, "Oh, do you really think it hurts? This is why I'm doing the tat." And he's like, nah. And I'm like, mate.
I actually hate that because you seriously in your head you just want to be like, can you just shut up? Like,
Fuck up.
seriously, I'm struggling to do it. Your mate doesn't want a shit tattoo. This is hard enough. Can you just get out? But you have to be so polite. Oh my God, I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, we've touched on something there for Bella.
That's probably the most difficult part for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's that one. I mean, there's lots of them, and I probably filter them out over the weeks. But like that one, yeah, burned into my mind as like I thought it was going to be a small, easy tat, and it was like not 1 second of that tattoo was easy. And I actually think in the end I was pretty happy with it. But yeah, I've not come to tears very often at the back of the shop. So
Hey, it's a memory you'll have forever.
yeah, have you got one,
Lucky
Cody?
man.
First tat.
Really?
First tat
For
was,
you or
Nah, to do my first tat
Right.
was horrible.
really?
Yeah.
What was it?
I did that like Coney Island skull with the rose in the mouth. The Coney Joe one.
Yeah.
Where?
just like on the side of the leg down near the ankle.
Yeah.
Pretty good spot to tattoo.
Yeah.
But it was like I stenciled it, wasn't happy with it, methoded it off, stuck it back straight on before the metho had dried, and it just kept like bleeding out. And I stenciled this thing like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And when you're new to it, you're like, fuck, like, do I ask or do I look like an idiot in front of my customer?
And I just like had to keep making these stencils, and I'm out the back wigging out, and I'm like,
sweating.
Sweating, and I'm like, I can't fucking do this. I can't fucking do this. Full anxiety attack, and then like just had to get my shit together and go do it, and it was just like the whole time I was just like shaking like Michael J. Fox spec.
I reckon when
and it's actually not too bad. I definitely did it too small than what I should have for like the grouping, but as far as first tats go, I've seen worse.
I reckon your
You
start
would have seen way worse.
your start into tattooing was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, for such a down-to-earth, easygoing guy, you would just be sweating balls, and it would be so funny to watch because I was like, I know you can do it. Like, you're fine, but you would just get so in your head.
Oh, absolutely. It's
It's
even
good
like,
though.
even
It means you care.
I reckon that's like the same as even like the first time you use small groupings, and then you just
God.
do it.
I
And
still
it's
don't
like,
wanna
it's
use
actually
them.
not that bad. I feel
still
like
scared.
you just got to like let go, and just not think about it, and just do it.
Yeah.
And the result is
Yeah.
should be.
Well,
good.
that's it. I reckon we always say that. It's like you do your best tattoos when you care less. But
I
you
don't
need-
reckon it's not even careless.
Well, it's like more confident.
just let go. Yeah, and confidence, absolutely.
Yeah, you just have to relax a little bit into it.
But I always think even now when I'm doing a tattoo, if I'm not thinking about it and I'm just flowing, then it's like that's where I do my best tattoos. But when I'm
Absolutely.
like doing a tattoo and then suddenly I'm like, oh fuck, like this is a really important bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like thinking about it too
no,
much.
and then like
almost.
you go to hold your breath and you're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have held my breath because now I'm out of breath and I've fucked that line.
Well, I can hold my breath for a long time, Bella. So
Yeah, you do. You practice in the pool now.
How long? How long to be exact?
2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I
think
reckon I
that's-
can do like 30 seconds.
I think that
Yeah, me too.
I would say underwater. It feels a lot longer.
I'm saying you can probably do the Burnley Tunnel.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
let's test it one day.
We don't really ever drive through that.
Well,
think,
we're gonna have to do a detour.
I think Rachel, my partner's game was when they were kids driving through it. I think it was Rachel.
What,
know.
you
I
have
can't-
another
I
partner?
Oh, you think that's your partner, or
Could be one of them. No, I think it was her that like said the story, but it was like if you didn't hold your breath, the
Everyone's
whole
beat
time,
down on you.
You get eaten by zombies or some shit like that.
That's so
Something-
weird.
something
What?
fucking- something
She's
fucking
so
dumb. don't
weird. I
know.
love that girl.
I don't think it was her, and she's gonna like
She's gonna light
straight
you
me
up.
over that.
she's like the first time you get mentioned on a podcast, you're making shit up about her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now we have to say something really nice. We love you, Rachel. Happy 10-year anniversary
Oh,
for the other
yeah.
week.
Yeah,
10
Pressure's
years.
on.
10 years with Cody. I like that.
yeah. I don't know how many other people could withstand that. So
Wait, you withstanding her?
no,
No, the other way
definitely
around.
the other way around.
She definitely tolerates some shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. I work next year.
Diamond in the rough. What's that?
I work next year and it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine
I feel
Cody
like
in
you
his
said the
younger
good
years.
side.
Hal, if he rocked up to an appointment with you 5 hours late, imagine the shit that he was bloody making Rachel deal with every day.
Yeah, or like first appointment with you rocking up off me guts after being up for like 36 hours.
Yeah, I didn't like it at the time.
And she's
but now
chosen
I
this
like
life,
it.
though, so I'm going to say it's her fault as well.
Mate, I used to go through phones that often that
You
there would just
did.
be long periods of time where I wouldn't have a phone and I'd just like disappear for 2 days.
Yeah, a
and
couple
I'd
of
just
weeks
come back
ago-
and she'd be like, "Where the fuck have you been?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a phone." She's like, "Every single one of your friends have a phone. You could have fucking texted me." I was like, "Oh, I was just having a good time."
I like when the other day you dropped your phone in the urinal and your mate pissed on it.
Yeah, they're waterproof. It's all good.
They're
And
not.
They are.
No.
I throw out the case, chuck some soap on it, wash it off. With
Perfect.
me hands, good to go.
Ah, easy.
I lost that
easy
phone
done.
anyway. First time I've lost a phone in a long time.
That's disgusting, Cody. That's actually disgusting.
I'll never forget
What,
it.
you want me to just throw out the phone and get a new one?
I would. If it was someone else's
I'd
piss.
consider it. I really would consider it.
He's a close
Nah.
friend.
But the urinals,
piss is clean.
other
It's all
people piss in there.
good. Piss is sterile.
No, it's not. That shit stinks.
I saw this video. It's so off topic, But I saw this,
Do we even have topics to
this
follow though?
video of a guy who was in a urinal with all of his mates, and they were all pissing in there, and then he picked up one of the urinal cakes and
Oh,
ate
no.
it
I've seen that.
in front of him.
I gagged when I saw it.
Ah, that's nothing.
Yuck.
Some of the shit I saw growing up in the hills.
Yeah.
I got
I
a
could
good
imagine.
friend that I'm not going to name, but his party trick was pissy mouth.
What?
You're kidding. What, someone would piss in his mouth?
No, he would piss in his own mouth.
No.
Yeah.
That's better than someone
No,
else.
it is not.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it
Piss
is.
is warm, which is yuck.
Someone else's piss.
I'd rather drink my own piss than someone else's.
I would rather just no
Fucking
piss,
oath.
but
Grylls.
imagine all the piss that's not landing in your mouth is landing on your chest and
Yeah.
like dribbling back.
I'd rather,
Yeah.
I'd rather
Hey,
it go on
it
my
took-
chest than in my mouth.
It took him a long time to like get it down pat where he could get it in his mouth every time.
Imagine the
He
practice.
figured it out like he had to like sort of tense and launch it to get it in his mouth.
I'm gonna have to see this. I reckon.
Oh, you'd have to get him pretty pissed.
I
Done.
heard you talking about you have made me imagine the hills in a very weird way.
Oh, it's a weird place. But it's good.
You went to a house party and the bloke on the couch next to you had a tattoo machine and was colouring his own dick in?
Oh, no. So that was like me, a bunch of the boys were out one night on the piss. And then we were like, fuck, who has a tattoo machine? Let's tattoo each other. I've actually still got some of them on my leg.
How old do you reckon you were?
Like 21, something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a bit older. Nah, I'm saying like 21 time.
Okay, so old enough to be a bit smarter.
Oh, definitely. I don't reckon I've got me smarts about me until like 25 though.
Yeah, I would say like the last like 6 months.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
yeah,
6
yeah,
months.
last 6 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like I don't know, one of my mates was like, oh, this guy's got a tattoo machine. We're like, yeah, sick, let's go use it. Just rock up to this random house essentially just to use the tattoo machine. A bunch of them are there on the piss, and then there's just this older guy, and we've like all tattooed each other, mind you, not changing the needle or anything like that.
Oh God.
And then he's like, well, when are you like colouring my dick? And we're like, fuck off. And he's like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it then.
No.
And what he essentially had was like one of the Ninja Turtles, like the bandana, pretty much just down from the head of his dick.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. He was like, oh, it's Michelangelo or some shit. And he's like, I need to finish colouring him in. And he's just sitting there smashing his knob with fucking some like Chinese green ink with a fucking liner. It was the most, like, not knowing at the time what was happening, it was pretty hectic. But thinking back now, it's like, cunt, your dick would have been fucked up for a long time after that. It probably still is. Probably holes in
Imagine going to like sleep with someone. They take their clothes off and they've got a green dick.
Oh, that's fucked.
like half coloured in. Looks like a kid's gone at it with a crayon.
Well, looking at the tattoos I've got on me, they're so far further in than they should be. So it's like that needle was hanging.
Oh my God, the damage to his skin. Fucking hell.
There's some pretty loose units up there.
I love that so
It's cowboy
much.
country. And
Cowboy.
it's not even that far away. It's like a 45-minute
Nah.
drive from the city.
It's not at all. And that's not even like the worst of the stories.
Oh,
got
You
plenty.
wouldn't.
There's
This is
some
the thing that surprised me. So I'd vaguely heard that story from you, but then when we got a message at the shop saying someone wanted a dick tart, you were like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not doing it."
Well, he wasn't the one colouring in his dick green.
No, but he was sitting next to someone doing it. I feel like you'd feel more comfortable about it.
yeah, nah, I'm not about it.
Not in touch with your own sexuality, mate.
So you did it, Bella.
Maybe not.
I did do
I'm
it.
pretty confident that I am, though.
Okay. Maybe one day we'll have to test it out.
No, I'm pretty confident you are as well, Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Rachel isn't there.
you guys were all too sooky.
We're not going into that.
Yeah, she'll kill me.
No, I was impressed, Bella. You really stood up. When I put it in the shop group, I was like,
I think you need to give some context here. Start from the beginning, mate.
I would say like the dick tart request is not common.
No.
Yeah. See, they're very rare, you know, like people have to joke about it and stuff, but no one really follows through on them. Or
Do you want me to explain the story? Because technically I was the one doing it.
Yeah, well, I feel like I instigated it.
Okay. I'm just going to talk anyway
You go,
because
you
you
go.
take too long. So we got a shop message because I was doing the shop messages at the time, and some guy wanted to get an inner lip tattoo. And so I was like, okay, guys, who wants to do this one? Like, because not everyone is comfortable doing inner lip tattoos. I will usually say no. I don't generally like doing them. They're really hard. Just not fun.
I just feel like it's a lot of mess, like a lot of
mucking around for not the best product.
For like, yeah, not an awesome result. Often.
Yeah, like most of the time people don't really even like them after they get them. Like they've had it for a month and then they're like, oh, why did I do that?
But I have seen some people doing really well.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
I actually saw one that was
like
done
doing
really well on TikTok where the guy didn't actually pull the lip all the way down. She got her lip tattooed and it was like on the outside of her lip because he didn't pull it out.
I saw that as well.
It's so bad. Anyway, so I said, who wants to do this? And then one of the guys said, yeah, I'll do it. So I booked that in. And then the guy messaged again like 10 minutes later being like, oh, also, weird question, but does anyone like do dick tattoos at the shop? And I was like, oh, I'll have a sus if like the same person wants to do it because generally like if I've already booked you in with someone, I'll give you the same person. Mm-hmm. And he was like, fuck no, I'm not fucking tatting a dick. What the fuck? And I was like, oh, okay. Like didn't realize it was such a touchy issue.
I would tattoo my mate's dick if they were getting something cool on it.
Would you tattoo Hal's dick right now?
Right now?
He's getting something half decent probably.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, then, because he was like, no, I don't want to fucking do it. Hal was like, all right, I'm just going to put it in the shop message and see like who will do it. So then Hal went in, was like, hey guys, someone wants just a simple like tiny little like love heart outline on their willy. Who is keen to do it? It's happening like tomorrow at 10 or something.
Yeah, pretty straightforward situation.
Like yes or no, quick, let me know because it's happening.
The only people who said yes were you and Emmy.
Yeah.
And for the record, I would have happily done it, but I had...
You actually did say, I'll do it.
But I already had a tat on. And then I would say, Bella, you dominated that tat.
Yeah, so I don't know what it looks like healed, but I'm going to say probably all right. I only saw it when I did it.
If you're listening, send in a photo of the
It was his first tat, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I think he said he had like one tiny tattoo previously or something like that. But anyway, so he came into the shop. I did it at 10 because generally the first customers of the day come in at 11. So I was like, oh, you don't want your willy out in the middle of the shop while people are walking in. But I reckon everyone in the shop flipped their shit. They were all like, I'm not fucking touching someone else's dick. Like, that's so fucking weird. And everyone thinks it's just the strangest thing ever. And I'm like, it's just a part of your body. It's just a fucking dick.
I just think ultimately when you're doing it, you look at it the same as you do when you're tattooing any part of their body. You're just looking at their skin.
Your calf, your chest,
going, I hope I
your
don't
dick.
fuck this up.
Yeah,
But
so anyway.
it was a funny experience. I was tattooing at the time as well, and I looked through, there's like a little window between our stations, me and Bella, and I looked through and he was just standing there in the middle of the shop, like so holding his dick on this armrest.
Yeah, I had to like get him to like lift his body up and like plonk his willy on the armrest so that I could like at least get it at like eye level. And it worked really well, but it would have looked fucking weird.
It was a weird experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it rattled me at all, but it rattled everyone else at the shop. And then as soon as I finished and the guy left, they were all like, how did it go? Like, oh my God, like, did you have to like, was it awkward when you touched it? I'm like, no. It would only be awkward if I wanted to like bloody go on a date with the guy.
Yeah, it would have been awkward if I started jerking him off.
All right, we'll move on from the dick talk.
Why?
The other week when we asked people to write in, a lot of them, again, were about apprenticeships. But I thought this was an interesting one. So this is from Ross Finn. And this is only one of, a handful of messages that were about the same sort of thing. But he says, is it realistic to become a tattoo artist if you aren't yet great at drawing / are a bit older, 23 plus?
I was 23 when I asked you about it.
Yep.
Yeah, because I turned 24 a couple months before I started.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it'd be interesting because you obviously were around that age and you were...
I was probably 24, 25.
I had no...
No, I'm 29 now. I've been tattooing for 3.5
do the maths.
years. Oh, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think reading that, it's like...
That's like prime age, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon it's a good age because you're a bit 21. More mature and you are way more invested in it because you're like, all right, well, I really need to sort myself out. I'm either getting into this and I'm really knuckling down, or I'm just going to piss fart around and be like, oh, I'm a tattooer.
I took a while to get my shit together, if I had done it when I was like 18,
No way.
or even 21, I would have cooked it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like just absolutely wasted the opportunity.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do agree.
And I still think I could have done it better. But I think that's just like you're always going to think that about anything, I think.
Yeah, you're always going to think,
Yeah.
what if?
I think like we've got people who work at the shop who started tattooing when they were 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've gone on to have great careers. And we've got people who, I started when I was 20. I think Bobby started when he was 18.
Yours is a bit different, Hal, though. You had like a professional career prior to tattooing. So you were already, and you've always been very level-headed and
Yeah, I think it just...
career-driven.
I think age isn't so much the factor.
No, it's where you're at mentally.
Yeah, definitely.
Or mature.
Emotionally.
Yeah. And I would say, just touching on the topic of apprenticeships, I think, and the drawing situation, I think I truly believe that tattooing at its core is a trade. It's like a learnable skill.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And of course, if you want to get into the top, few percent of amazing tattooers in the world, you either have to have like an amazing ability to learn or you need to have some sort of natural talent.
Definitely.
But I think
would say what you're saying is based more so on like traditional or something. I think if you're doing like realism, you would need to have some.
No, I think it's a learnable. I honestly think it's a learnable skill, all of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I don't think I could ever do anything like realism.
I think the perception before you start tattooing is that everyone who tattoos to a great level was just a natural thing. Like you think, oh, you could look back at their drawings when they were 18 and they would be amazing. And like, I think sometimes that's the case, but I think more often than not, the thing that makes people become good tattooers is their desire to learn. So coming in as, like doesn't matter what age you are, but if you don't have necessarily a great knowledge of tattoo history or designs or culture, or you don't have a portfolio of amazing drawings, that doesn't say to me that you'll never be good. That just says that potentially you've had no direction.
Yeah.
You haven't been sort of directed in a way. And a great example is all the young guys we have at the shop,
Well-
or even you or me, or like you look back at my original drawings, horrendous.
Well, I didn't think it was possible at all. And I actually remember this. You said to me, because I was like, I can't draw or anything like that. And you said to me, well, you did an apprenticeship. Does a carpenter know how to build a house when they start their apprenticeship? Or
wise words from Hal Hunter.
Or let alone even swing a hammer. And
Yeah.
it's like, fuck no. I remember when I started my apprenticeship as a boiler,
I
I
remember
didn't know how to do anything.
I remember having to show you how to hold a pencil.
Yeah.
Like, so Cody got an iPad to like make it a bit easier for him. And
Biggest mistake.
yeah, because he's never gotten off it. But he couldn't even like hold his pencil. He's got like big banana hands. Like his fingers are like the size of a fucking
Is
banana.
this just critique Cody's body, Dave?
Yeah.
I love you so much. But he was like holding his
I
pencil.
love you so much,
like,
but you got fast fingers.
no, but you were like holding it as if like it was a fucking tree trunk, like just grasping the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was so funny.
Oh,
and
my
then like,
handwriting's always been shit ass
yeah.
as well.
But honestly, very, very easy to do if you are in the right mindset. You know that you want to fucking.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily easy.
Nah.
No, I think like the mindset of being like, I need to commit to doing this. Like anything,
of
like
course.
if you're not going to mentally commit to it, you're making yourself step back 20 steps.
And sometimes, like this is...
I'm not saying tattooing is easy.
I would never knock
Whoopsies.
anyone who comes in who's, doing their own style, or like showing a portfolio of their own paintings and all of that sort of stuff. But, I think maybe my mindset's this way because of, the shop that I came up in and all that sort of stuff. But I definitely think, there's two aspects to tattooing professionally. There's the actual service of the tattooing, providing your customer what they want. And then there's your artistic input. And I think there's always going to be a combination of both. But I think when you're starting particularly, a lot of people come in and they think that it's like you've got to draw all your own shit. You've got to like have your own style.
Yeah.
Any customer who comes in and wants something, it's like you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, it's a big misconception.
And I think that's sort of like jumping the gun a bit. That's like
Definitely.
the way you build a career is you start off with the absolute basics. And sometimes that's like your art doesn't factor into that at all.
your art takes a big
Oh,
You
step
just
back.
you learn the technical application And then once you can do that, then you can really take, tattooing wherever you want to go.
Then you can bring in your own stuff.
Mate.
But if you can nail a classic design and you can't fault any of your first couple of...
As far as traditional goes, I reckon if someone walks in with a 50-page portfolio, it's literally only Sailor Jerry Flash, but it's painted exceptionally.
Yeah.
You're going to be impressed.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because a lot of it's the technical application of the stuff.
Yeah,
if you
just
can paint it
understanding.
well, and that's...
It's
But that's all
understanding the
learnable,
designs and where to put the shading. And
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the same when I taught Luke to tattoo. He came from a graphic design background, which a lot of it is
You haven't added any concept as to who Luke is.
Luke Etho, my apprentice, Aaron's cousin.
He works at Vinteak Tattoos.
He works at Vinteak full time. I would say he's a junior tattooer now. Really busy, does really solid tattoos. But when me and Aaron were talking about bringing him on as the apprentice, Luke was coming from a graphic design background, which is very much
very different.
Yeah, your own artistic stuff. And he sort of thought that, when he was an apprentice, it was all the shit you tattoo's got to be your own designs.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, that was the hardest bit for him mentally I was no, when you start out, I would say the goal is to just be able to recreate a tattoo as perfectly as you can.
Without changing
And
the
then,
iconic design.
Then you build your style on top of that over time.
Yeah, once you've gotten a bit more confident and a bit more design knowledge.
100%. So to answer the question, I don't think 23 or older is too old.
No, maybe get a bit older and do it.
I would say, honestly, if it's what you really want to do, it doesn't really matter what age you are or what drawing ability you're at, but you do have to be realistic. Obviously, as you get older,
It will be harder.
you potentially going to have more responsibilities outside of your work life, and you being able to essentially volunteer your time to learn a craft
Well, yeah, with most
might
apprenticeships.
not be as easy to do. But in saying that, if it's what you really want to do, then you can definitely do it.
Most apprenticeships, you don't get paid. And every apprentice that I know or anyone who tattoos that got into it when they were quite young, they were working 2 or 3 jobs to make it happen, because you're literally asking for a tattooer to give up their spare time and their knowledge to share with you, and they don't get anything out of it.
No.
So if you're willing to go to work at a tattoo shop for free so you can learn the craft, get some respect, build up a portfolio, then give it a shot.
Well, I would say they're actually probably more accurately described as internships.
Yeah.
I think the industry standards, everyone calls them apprenticeships.
Yeah.
But I actually think they're more like internships.
That's a good point.
You go in, you volunteer your time, you get taught for free, essentially. But everyone does it differently, and I think we will cover that at more length in another episode.
It's a very, very lengthy topic.
I've got a few other prompts here. I've got heaps more questions. I will get to them over time. But I wanted to ask, so I heard this story about you tattooing a customer, Cody. And
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well done.
I've just written down here, Cody's heroin incident.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Can you elaborate on that?
I love this.
Yeah. Well, first of all, first elbow web I ever did. So I was already
Shaking in your boots.
yeah. Really keen, but also fuck you.
This better go well.
Yeah. So we're not naming names or anything like that, but sort of older guy, 40s.
Yeah.
And really nice guy. Had been in met him around a couple of times. Been in Thailand for a while. Come back, and he's getting this elbow web. I'm outlining it, and the outline's taking fucking ages. So hard. So hard. And he's struggling. I reckon he had 3 ciggy breaks, and I was smoking
In the outline.
Yeah. And I was smoking at the time. So I went down with him every time, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to brand out. I've had that many darts with this cunt. But third one is shuffling through his car because it's parked out the front of Vinteak. You got the car park
Yeah.
down the bottom. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to go to the toilet. I'm like, yeah, sweet. And he was actually on steroids at the time. He got massive real quick. And he's in the toilet for fucking ages, like 25 minutes. And
Jesus.
I'm like, fuck, is this dude like...
He's doing a big
had
poo-poo.
as he had to like have some steroids or something like that. As this cunt had a fucking heart attack in the toilet and I'm going to have to go like save him. And as it's getting to that point where I'm like, fuck, I better go see what's going on. He rolls back in. And mind you, beforehand, like Rudy was tattooing and he's sitting there, he's chatting away. They're all from like Frankston area, around the same age, talking about all the shit that happened when they were growing up, stuff like that, like talkative as. And then he just rolls in and he's just like completely different person. Just like slumps himself on the chair. They're sort of like trying to interact with him and he's just like... And I'm doing this web out, like I think I'd finish the outline, start shading, and it was like 5 centimeters down from where the web ends on the bottom half of his arm.
Yeah.
There's just this track mark bleeding. And I'm like, this cunt's gone and shot up in the fucking toilet. And I've never like really been around, well, I've never been around heroin, but
I'm glad.
I've been around some shit, but not heroin. And I'm like, just the way he's like changed. I'm like, oh yeah, he's like on the nod hard.
Oh God.
So I'm just like, oh well, this is gonna get him through it. So I finished finished shading this web. It went pretty good.
Yeah.
For the first one. And he's like stoked with it. And then we finish up and I'm like, hey, like don't stress or anything. It's all good, but where'd you put the needle? And he's like, oh, what? And I'm like, oh, I know you went and shot up. Like you had your track mark bleeding below. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, I don't care. Like, just where'd you put the needle? Because I need to go like put it in the sharps container.
Yeah,
Like
dispose
that.
of it hygienically.
And he's like, oh, no, it's all good. I've got it. And I was like, oh, all right. And
so what, you're like, oh yeah, cool, mate. You put it in your bloody pocket or something.
yeah, they'll usually chuck the cap back on and chuck in their bum bag or whatever.
We don't know much about that, so I don't know.
You always see them with the cap on.
They're all...
around St Kilda.
I see them on the ground everywhere with no cap on, so...
Well, they're dogs.
Yeah. Pretty grubby.
Be an ethical heroin user, I say, you know.
If you're going to use it, be considerate.
Yeah, so what did he do?
Oh, that was pretty much it. Paid for the tat and left. And then a bit later on, he messaged me and he's like, oh, man, really, really sorry about it. If you're posting the photo, can you crop it out? And I'm like, I'm not posting the fucking photo. It's my first elbow whip. But, yeah, like, great guy.
I think that's actually really, decent that he messaged you.
Oh, absolutely. And he was great about the situation. And he was, like, really nice guy, really considerate and stuff like that. He was a great guy. Just had some demons, obviously.
Yeah.
Good on him.
That's the hardest.
I think he's actually in jail now.
Oh, yeah. That's not a great end to that story.
No.
But well done for dealing with that situation.
That would be that's like
I would have freaked.
A hard situation to deal with, like as a young tattooer.
Yeah.
Like, even like, you know, I'm pretty like oblivious to like people getting on the gear.
You are so oblivious. Hal doesn't even know when I'm drunk.
I actually had it happen a fair bit in my first 6 months of tattooing.
Really?
Really?
People rocking up, zannied out and shit like that.
We've had a few zannied customers and Hal specifically.
I don't see. This is the thing. So I've tattooed this guy, actually really nice guy again, like long time customer, but every time he's come in, he's been like real. Just like dopey personality, you know what I mean? Like
a bit like vague, like
stuff like
cool.
that. And I was always just like, oh, that's just his personality. And then it was actually the last time I tattooed him. And I mean, he's welcome to come back anytime, but I'm not sure if he.
I don't think he wants to. I think he feels a little bit awkward, which is so sad because he shouldn't.
I know, but so I was tattooing him. It was me, Bella, and Bobby tattooing at Carlton, which is the old shop, really small, so everyone's really tight together. And it was like, I tattooed him for a whole day. And over the course of the day, it got to the point where I was like, I couldn't get any responses out of him. So like, I stencil on a tat, he's looking in the mirror. I'm like, what do you reckon, man? And he just say like nothing. Mind
you, at this point, we had no idea what was going on. We thought that he was just like a really dopey kind of like happy-go-lucky, whatever cruisy guy.
And I was just like, oh, okay. Like it was getting really difficult for me to actually like be confident to tat anything on him because I'm like, I don't know if he actually fucking wants this stuff.
Yeah. I remember you were sitting there and you like said to me when he went out the front for a smoke, you were like, I don't know what to do. Like, because if he doesn't want the tat, I don't want to do it because like I feel like he feels pressured to get tattooed because he's booked in a full day.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what to do. But then ultimately like he dropped all these zannies on the ground and and he'd text his girlfriend saying like, Hal's not tattooing me enough. Like
I'm getting stitched up. He's rinsing me for the money.
Yeah. And I was like, because I wanted to tat heaps. So I feel like if someone books in a whole day, you know, they have an expectation they want to get a fair bit done.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, I always feel real self-conscious about like taking breaks to get food and shit like that because, you know, like they're paying for the time.
And generally with a day rate, you pay a set amount for the day and it ends at like a certain time. So it's like they're already locked in that they're spending an amount. So you want to get as much as you can done.
I think we only got like 2 or 3 tats done on him by this time. Anyway, his girlfriend comes in and he's text her saying like, Hal's fucking me around here. And she brings him in this coffee.
A mocha. An almond mocha.
And it was massive. Like one of those like extra large ones.
What do they call it at Starbucks?
It was like a grande.
A grande.
Like, I don't know what grande is, what size that is, but it's like a tall mocha choco frappuccino
they got a
grande.
tall, a venti, and a grande.
Yeah,
there we
a venti,
go.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I always think of that out of Knocked Up or something. I don't know. Paul Rudd's what the fuck's a venti?
But anyway, she brings him in this coffee and he's obviously like cooked on these zannies and I'm trying to do this tat on him and then she just goes like in front of everyone, she's like, Hal's not wasting your time, you're fucking off your head.
Oh, I wish I had that.
It was so awkward because I hadn't even clued onto it. I was just like, oh, what? And then he ends up spilling his whole coffee on the ground and didn't even notice.
So he's like on the tattoo bed, like the massage bed, sitting up. His coffee was like next to him. He's knocked it fully on the ground. It's like splashed everywhere. Bobby was mid-tattoo, like right next to them. It like splashed onto like Bobby's leg. I see it all happen. Hal just looks at me. I grab the paper towel and I'm down on all fours underneath the bed while this bloke is like trying to choose a design, mopping up his mocha.
Like he didn't notice. And then ultimately, and then he goes, has anyone seen my coffee?
And
like after.
Honestly, that was like 45 minutes later. And I was like, mate, you dropped it on the ground.
Anyway, ultimately, we didn't get any more tattoos done and he went home.
And he got rinsed by his missus.
She did yell at him because he came back the next day to apologize to me. He's like, man, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh, man, I don't care. Like, I'm like, whatever. I just was like, had no idea what was going on. And I was like, you seem way different now than any time I've ever met you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I always take the Xannies before so it doesn't hurt. And I was like, mate, I honestly would have had no idea.
Yeah, I reckon I don't like have a problem. I actually don't really have a problem with people taking shit to get tattooed.
I don't care.
But I think there is like a level to it. So it's like, don't just get fucking cooked.
No
like,
way.
Be sensible. You don't need to get like full rinse to get tattooed. It's like
I have some
you need
customers-
a Valium to like ease the anxiety and so you can like relax a bit or something like that. But it's like Xanax is a fucking hard drug.
I've
like you
never
do
had
not
it.
need to be taking a bar and fighting to sleep to get fucking tattooed.
No, I'd be
Simple.
scared too. I'd be scared that I'd like weigh myself or something because I'd be too relaxed and that
Yeah.
would be embarrassing. But I have customers who have like some Voltaren before and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's so much easier. And I'm like, yeah, tattoos really fucking hurt.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't think I could tattoo someone that was off their head because I would be too scared that I was putting a tattoo on them that they actually didn't want and they were a bit like away
Yeah,
with the
true.
fairies.
Well, you just want them to be coherent. You know,
Yeah,
anything
please
beyond
don't rock
that
up
makes it
fucked up.
difficult. I reckon last thing we'll touch on just quickly. I had a bunch of people ask about like US guest spots and upcoming travel plans for next year and stuff like that. Have you got anything on the cards?
Yeah, I'm going to tattoo at Hunter and Fox in Sydney
What dates?
from the 9th to the 11th of February, I think.
Yes,
Yep.
I saw that. And you're going with Charles?
Charlie Boy,
Yeah.
Charles Cooper.
Young
tattoo,
boy.
Yeah.
That's his first guest spot?
That's his first.
That's
trip.
exciting. So
Yeah.
Charles works.
And that's good because that's like essentially, I went up there at the start of this year,
Yeah.
February.
Yep.
So same time. And it was like, I just finished my apprenticeship then as well.
And
Yeah,
that was
so-
your,
Pretty
that
much
was
doing
your
the same
first
thing.
guest spot?
Yeah, went up with Aaron.
Yeah, sick.
So Charles Cooper tattoo or Charles Cooper, I don't know what his Instagram is. I'm so sorry, Charlie boy. But he works at Vintique. And he is also on the same, he's pretty much at the same point in his career as Luke.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of nice that you're taking him on like the same trip that you went on with
Yeah, well,
Aaron.
Aaron took me on that trip.
Oh,
so it was
we're
like,
setting a
Oh, and
tradition.
we took Aaron the year before.
yeah. So it was like because
Thanks,
I
Country
remember.
Fox, for taking on the young boys.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out Stevie and Jamie, sick cunts.
Yeah, that's a mad shop.
Good shot.
I definitely want to go back up, but I don't have any travel plans.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got nothing you want to.
Nothing. I think life has just been really busy the past year, and I'm a bit tired, and
No,
I want
that's
to
fair
take
enough.
it a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I've got Sydney booked, but I want to do like Sydney, Feb, Brizzy, or like Queensland, Gold Coast. I don't know. I'd like to try get to 383, go see Donny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Gold Coast.
In May,
Donny tattoo.
and then like Perth or Adelaide 3 months after that, and then vice
Yeah, okay.
versa 3
Yeah,
months after
do a
that.
bit of an
I
Aussie
just want to
trip.
do like 4 trips next year.
All Oz.
Yeah, all Oz. And
Yeah.
then I would like to try do like the US the next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were meant to, Hal and I were meant to do the US a year.
It was meant to be in 2020, but it got cancelled because
God,
of
that feels like,
COVID.
yes.
I
Yeah.
reckon.
And we pushed it out for another year and then pushed it out for another year. And now we're just like, traveling right now just is not on my agenda.
Yep.
I reckon that was
it
like
will be soon, but
I reckon that was like a big motivator with me as well. Like seeing you and Bobby do that a lot. Because I
Yep.
think it was like 3 years in a row Bobby went to
yeah.
the States and the
Yep.
UK every year. And
Yeah,
then I
Bobby
think,
did
did you do it 3
LA,
years in a row or
San
like 2
Fran.
years?
I went 3 years in a row. I only tattooed the 2 years though.
Yeah.
Over there, and then me and Bobby, the first trip me and Bobby did together was in 2019. We went to London, worked at Cloak and Dagger,
Yeah, I remember that specifically.
and then we had the trip we were talking about before that was booked in 2020 to the US.
We were going to do LA, San Fran, and you were going to tattoo in New York.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Bobby was coming on that trip as well.
Yeah. I wasn't going to tat there because one of my girlfriends lives over there. I was just going to go and
Yeah.
visit and stuff. But I think we will do the States.
I think so. So next year, my travel plans are I'm working at the Showdown, which is a motorcycle chopper show
Vroom, vroom.
in Brisbane at the end of January. I don't know the exact date, but if you just look up the Showdown, Brisbane Chopper Show, I'll be there for.
I think it's only 1 or 2 days.
That's one day.
one day.
I think it's only like a lunch till evening situation.
Yeah, I think it'll be like 11 till
Yep.
6 or something.
So I'll be up
roughly.
there doing that. Then I don't have any other travel work plans booked
Yeah,
in,
tattoo plans.
but I think
You got a few surf trips in the.
I do. Well, I've got one surf trip going.
Is that the Sumatra?
Yeah, in July.
Yeah.
We haven't actually booked it yet, but I think that's what we're planning. But I think I'll try and do one other tattoo trip, most likely within Australia next year.
Which I will obviously be going to.
Yeah, and it most likely will be one of the major cities. Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think the goal will be in 2024 to do the America trip that we had planned. So
Yeah,
I'd
I would
like to
like
do New York, LA, San Francisco, and Nashville.
I would love to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
We've been to LA, New York, and San Fran before. I've never tattooed overseas. I've only ever tattooed in Australia. But yeah, I would love to go to Nashville to tattoo as well. I think I would mainly just want to get tattooed there.
Yeah, well, that's the reason I'd want to get tattooed by Chad at Adventure Tattoo in Nashville.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my main reason for going there. So that's roughly what I have in my mind, but yeah, not confirmed or anything. But to answer the question, yes, I have worked in the US, and more than likely I will work there again.
He will be back. He will be back. And before we go,
Yep.
I think I need to answer a question that I was meant to do last week.
Yep.
And I get asked all the time. And it was, what's it like working with your partner? Pros and cons. And Hal, I think you need to answer this as well.
Well, I might even throw this to Cody. Cody, what's it like working with me and Bella as partners?
Oh, double
I
whammy.
love it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's good.
'Cause-
Because you guys are easy. There's no like bullshit.
So Cody works.
I say that.
Cody works next to Hal. Their tattoo beds are right next to each other, and I'm in
You're in the front
other
room.
which
Sort of one room, but
it's literally like
what do you
2
mean?
meters
You go like, oh, there's no bullshit.
I
don't know.
Are you going to rinse me?
Nah, I feel like you have your little bicker in the morning and then it's like the rest of the day is all good.
But we don't like fight. Our
No,
bickers
you
are
don't
like,
fight. It's just
I'll
bickering.
like scream
me
out
and
and be
Rachel
like,
bicker
shut
flat
the
out.
fuck up, asshole, because he's annoying.
I don't ever say that. You're the
He
one who
does.
says that.
I'm very like hot-headed in regards to, I'm snappy. But it's in like,
I would
comes
say the
from-
thing that you struggle with the most, Bella, is you really struggle to separate the outside of work to the inside of work. Because I'm saying
he'll always say this.
as soon as I step in that door,
work mode.
I'm on like, what am I doing for work? It doesn't matter who's there or whatever.
Hal's not there to make friends. He's there to get work done. Whereas I'm there to be like, yay, let's have fun and get some work done.
Definitely.
And he tells me off because he's like, Bella, just shut up and go back to your area and,
See, I like
and
a
do your
mixture
work.
of the two.
Yeah, I'm the fun
definitely
one.
like a mixture of the two. But I bet it's funny that you say that because as you're saying that, I'm like, oh, fuck, he does too.
Yeah.
But it's I only really see you in work. Bit more outside
well,
of these
my
days.
doesn't really change outside of work.
Nah.
Nah, Hal's the same kind of.
You got the same like personality regardless.
Yeah, so Hal can absolutely switch off and be like serious mode, but I'm more like, fuck off, I'm having fun, and I'm also doing my work. But Hal wants me to just like be like, just do your work, Bella, you're being annoying, because he does work with me, he lives with me.
No, I'm like, you can do whatever you want. I'm just
I
doing
do.
my work, so I'm not paying attention to you.
Yeah, and you say I get like a little bit like needy, which I do.
Definitely.
But I don't think it's like bad needy. I think I'm just like, Hal, I'm going to get a coffee. Do you want to come? Come on, come with me. Come on. And then you're like, just fuck off, Bella, I don't want one.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But I would say
So what was the question?
pros and cons of working with your partner. I love working with Hal.
Well, they're done. Thank you.
Legitimately, he is my best friend.
Thank you.
And it is great.
I saw a butt coming there.
Oh, you saw so many butts coming. But he is a difficult personality. And I'm going to say your parents say this to me all the time. They come up to me and are just like, I'm so sorry, Bella. You chose this though. I'm so sorry. And your mum does
They
it.
sorry, but
they
it's your
do
fault.
actually
Your
say
mum
that to you.
apologizes for you all the time because you are very intense. But I knew what I was getting into.
I wouldn't say intense. I'd just say driven.
I would say intense.
And this is the thing. And me and your dad bond over this. Is I'm practical. I'm like, we're here to do this thing, so I'm doing this.
You are practical,
And
but then
if-
you're a big fucking dreamer too, so a bit of an idiot
And
sometimes.
if you're trying to make me do shit that's detracting from my ability to just get this job done,
yes.
then I'm just going to be like, I'm not into that.
Okay, so I think love working with him. It's the best thing. I learned so much from working with you, below you. Like being your apprentice was amazing, but the most challenging thing I think I've ever done. But yeah, it has its pros and cons every single day. There's not one day that I'm like, this day was the best thing ever because, like we do live an hour and a half away from work. We have that drive into work. Then we work all day and then drive home. So I'm like, it's constant. There's no breaks.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it.
You have to say one bad thing. Otherwise I sound like a bitch.
I've already said the bad thing.
Yeah, you can't separate
Give
work.
me
You
another
can't
one.
separate
You
work
can't
from
separate work and love.
outside of work. No, I always think this, like your biggest pro is your biggest con. Like vibrant, loud personality, all that sort of stuff. And I think that's really good. But then when I'm trying to really focus on doing something,
I get in trouble.
that's not good.
It's quite funny. Everyone at the shop
Yeah.
is like, Bella, did you just get told off? And I'm like, yes, shush. Every time. Everyone just knows that I've like been sent to the naughty corner. But yeah.
Pretty much.
That's
but
it.
you're getting better at realizing it and knowing when I'm like in the zone to do something and then you just walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only taking how long?
Yeah. Yeah, it's taken a while. But anyway.
I reckon if my mum saw me more in my day-to-day life, she'd be apologising to Rachel a lot as well.
Yeah, like
God
Well,
sent-
you think this, Cody,
God sent that
you
girl.
got tattooed by Rachel, your girlfriend, her first tattoo the other week.
Oh, yeah.
And Bella texted her afterwards saying, how'd the tattoo go? And I think she just wrote back saying, Cody yelled at me.
she did. She was like, I got yelled at the whole time. It was terrible. I hated it.
Nah, she did real good for the R, and then she just started ripping it like a pen. Like she was just like...
She got so
Like she was
confident.
doing her signature on a bill or something.
Yeah, she
And I
said
was
she
like,
just wanted it to be
"Fucking chill
over.
out." Yeah.
So she was rushing right there.
But Oh, probably no excuses on that one, but I had tattooed for 3 hours beforehand. I wasn't really
She
ready
wanted
for
her
it.
revenge as well.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But anyway, we might wrap it up there. So, firstly, thank you, Cody, for coming on and having a chat. And
My pleasure.
thank you, Bella, for joining me again doing this.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Dill and the team at Producy, for allowing us to sit in your studio and ramble on for an hour. If you could obviously have a listen to this, if you got to this point.
Like, subscribe,
No.
follow, support.
I wasn't going to say that in those words.
Well, I did.
But yeah,
Shameless.
any sort of feedback, you can either just DM us or on whatever platform you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, give us some actually, like, rip us if you don't like it. Tell us what we could do better.
I don't reckon I'm even going to listen to this.
I reckon
I don't want to fucking hear myself.
I'm going to replay it while we're all tattooing in the shop because you're never going to get better if you don't know your downfalls.
Exactly. So the plan, just quickly, is that we pump out a few of these, just more casual sit downs, go over what people have asked us, and then starting in January, we're going to put out a more refined version once we've sort of got a bit more comfortable doing it, got a bit more feedback about what people are sort of interested in that we've been talking about. We're
very relaxed people, so it's not going to be super structured. So keep that in mind. We're not going to sit here with a spreadsheet, blah,
just
blah, blah.
yarns.
We're just chatting.
Exactly. So
if you like it, thank you.
Thanks for listening.